We need to talk about Xebec. Now, Xebec is not a normal pirate. This dude is arguably the greatest pirate in One Piece. Yes, even greater than Goldie Roger to those who aren't following the current story. Now, what makes Xebec so great is number one of all things, what we know him for. He is a Davy D. He is the man behind the God Valley incident, arguably the most important event in One Piece besides the main story that's currently being held. This dude, Xebec, is the only pirate and only character I believe that we know of that killed a admiral. Now, I will mention alongside that there is up the debate about the fact that did Rox kill the admiral because he did heavily injure the admiral, and then the admiral essentially died in paramedics. There's also a theory that that same admiral Rox killed was the previous user of the Hiei no Mi fruit, which that has no evidence whatsoever. That's just an idea, which would be very interesting to see if that is what really happened. But let's not forget the main part about Rox, legacy. I think out of every character Oda has introduced besides Goldie Roger, Luffy, Joy Boy, Emu, I think Xebec has one of the strongest legacies up there with Whitebeard in terms of importance as an individual and character in the story. He is truly one of one, guys. I'm not even kidding. But alongside that, he is also one of the only characters in the story to pretty much almost make a black blade, which is a Mihawk feat that only Mihawk has, I believe, that we know of. Maybe Fujitora has one, but with that being said, Mihawk is still the only character in the story with a black blade that we know he made. But it's still an insane feat nonetheless. And let's not forget the fact that this dude is a Davy D. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this ever in any of my videos, but essentially the Davy D is like the Uchiha clan amongst the Uchiha clan. What I mean is we have the D family and then we have the Davy D, the Uchiha clan and the Uchiha clan, which just makes Rox's legacy even more crazy. He was also friends with the previous King of the Giants, King Harold, arguably the biggest piece of shit loser and the worst Conqueror's hockey user in all of One Piece. Yes, all of One Piece. And he genuinely was a bum, but that's a whole different topic for another video. But we need to talk about Rox. This dude arguably assembled the greatest crew in One Piece. Yes, even greater than the Straw Hats. Now, I'm going to put this out there. Do I think Rox had a better crew, cooler crew than Roger? Absolutely. Roger's crew had like, what, 3 main people? Crocus, Gabon, Rayleigh, Odin, and guys, that was about it. Maybe I'm missing someone, maybe I'm not, but who cares, because this is about Rox. But no, I think obviously end of series Straw Hats will be better, but yeah, Rox's crew is nonetheless arguably the most important crew in One Piece besides, you know, Roger, Luffy, Joy Boy, and yeah, that alone is insane to say because those are some of the, if not the greatest characters in One Piece. And Rox's whole purpose in the story, which I'm going to lay it out for you guys, his whole plan was pretty much to take back the throne from Emu. As you guys know, that was one of the main factors of his whole, like, a motive, initiative, everything involving Xebec's character had to do with becoming the king of the world again and taking back what belonged to the Davy Ds. Now, we don't exactly know how Davy Jones, which was stated to be the previous king of the world, lost that title, but we can assume Emu did some side bullshit and got rid of him some way or another during the voice history that we do not yet know of. But nonetheless, Rox did what nobody else did. He attacked Emu and actually is the only character in the story, I believe, to genuinely do something to Emu. And Emu, like, yeah, he didn't do anything to Emu, but he still hit Emu, and that's that. Now, Emu is a whole character for another debate. I make plenty of videos about Emu. You guys can go watch here. But no, seriously, Xebec is the greatest character in One Piece besides the main obvious ones, Joy Boy, Luffy, Roger. Also, not to mention, he was a family man amongst all else. He kept Teach close when he was getting cold. He kept Eris warm when she was getting cold. He literally is the embodiment of a man in carrying traditional values in the One Piece story. But with that being said with you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Road 2000 on TikTok or YouTube. Let's get it. Let's go, boys. Peace.